Hello and welcome back to App for You. In this particular video, we are going to discuss a new problem from heaps. And basically, the problem says that we have to merge two max heaps into a single max heap, right? So you can clearly see that we are provided. If you just focus onto the main function, we are provided with an array A and an array B. An array A is again consisting the level order traversal of the first max heap. So if we just draw it, it will be like 10 5, let me just draw it, 10 5 6 and 2 here. So obviously it is a max heap, right? All right, so yes, let me write it test 10. Okay, so if you also look into the second array, that is array B, you will have another max heap as 12 and with children 7 and 9, right? So this both are max heap. So this is the first max heap, this is the second max heap. Now our objective is to basically combine these two elements, the elements in both the array, in the first heap as well as the second heap, and you just create one single heap. Okay, so we just have to create one single heap using all the elements of this heap as well as this heap, and then we have to create a resultant max heap, right? So we just have to create a resultant max heap using all the elements of this heap and this heap, and the expected time complexity is order of an or linear time. Okay, a linear time complexity is what they expect, right? So how can we basically solve this particular problem? So before we proceed, let me explain you some properties of that is associated with heap construction. So if you have watched my video on how to build heap, right, the function to build the heap, given an array of elements and we need to create a max heap from that, how do we create it? We have discussed the concept of the heapify function, right? How does the heapify actually work? So if you just refer to that particular video of my, wherein I have explained how the heapify function works, you will find out that what happens is, suppose I have a heap, in the sense like suppose 4 5 9 6 3 and suppose here it is 2. Now I want to convert this heap into max heap. Obviously this heap is not a max heap because you can see the root element is 4 and the children are more greater than 4, so definitely it is not a max heap. Now our objective is to convert this into a max heap. So how do we do so? So if you remember, I'm sorry, so if you remember the concept, what we do is generally we just point to the first non-leaf node, right? If you remember, what do we do? So if this is my heap, that is 4 5 6, I'm sorry, this is 9, this is 6, this is 3 and this is 2, right? So what do we do is basically point to the first non-leaf node. So which is the first non-leaf node here? So obviously this is the leaf node, this is the leaf node, this is the leaf node, and yes, sorry, not first non-leaf node, the last non-leaf node. So basically this is the last non-leaf node, right? This is the last non-leaf node. Now from the last non-leaf node, we will just keep on visiting all the nodes till we reach the root node. Okay, in every iteration we will visit one node at a time, from here, then here, then here. So first time I saw a non-leaf node, the last non-leaf node, what will I do? I will consider this subtree and perform the heapify operation. What will the heapify operation do? The heapify operation will check that if the children value, since I am going to construct a max heap, so heapify will check that whether the max heap property is satisfied or not. If it is not satisfied, it will try to satisfy it. For example, here the root is 9, the child is 2, so no problem, the max heap property is satisfied by this particular subtree, so everything is fine here. What it would happen in the next iteration? In the next iteration I will visit the second last non-leaf node. So this was the last non-leaf node and this is the second last non-leaf node. I came here. Now I will be considering what? I will be considering this subtree. That means I will be considering its left child as well as its right child, and I will compare that, okay, is the max heap property satisfied or not. So you can see that the value here is 5, right, and its left child is 6 and the right child is 3. So which of these do you think is bigger? So obviously the left child has a bigger value. Since this left child has a bigger value, what we are going to do, we are going to swap this with 5. So basically what will happen is this node will contain 6 and this node will contain 5. Now which is the node that got affected? Obviously this node got affected, right? This was the point of conflict because here was the issue. So again I will perform heapify operation in this subtree. Obviously this is a single node, so you don't have to do anything. For a single node there is no problem. No problem. So yes, you can see this subtree is also heapified, which means it is also following the max heap property because 6 is greater than 5 and 3. Great. So this subtree is also satisfying the heap property. Now what will I do? I consider this node, then I consider this node, then the third last non-leaf node. So obviously from right to top I am just moving. So I consider this non-leaf node, then this non-leaf node. Now finally this is the non-leaf node. So when I consider this, what will I do is I'll take into consideration that I'm basically dealing with the entire subtree, right? Entire tree. So what will I do is first of all I'll look at its left child and right child. Now if left child is basically is greater than the root, what does it indicate? It indicates that okay, it basically indicates that there is a problem with this particular node, right? That is, this node has a higher value, right? And again I found out here what is the largest index. So again largest index here, largest value here is 9, which means the root's value is basically smaller than the children's value. So which of them do you think is larger? Obviously this node has a larger value. So if this node has a larger value, then I will perform swapping between this node and this node. So what will happen basically? This will become 9 and this will become 4, right? So once this happens, now what happens? Which is the node that got disturbed? Definitely this node got disturbed, isn't it? Because you inserted 4 here. Now basically you will again look into this subtree and check if the heap property is satisfied. Definitely you can see now the heap property is satisfied because there is no issue with this, right? So this is how the heapify operation basically takes place. What do? We first of all locate the last non-leaf node. From the last non-leaf node we will traverse till the root. Every time in each iteration we will pick up a root node, okay, of any subtree, and then we will look at its left child and right child. Whichever is larger among the children, I will just swap the root value with the children value. Got it? So this is how things has to be done. Now let us try to implement this in the code. So let us now try to implement this problem in the code. So this problem is based on build heap. So we have already discussed how to build an heap, but the only trick is that here we are provided with 2 max heaps and then we have to convert it into a single max heap. So very simple, there is no rocket science involved here. We are just going to combine these 2 elements into a single array, and then I will be applying the build heap function on this particular array, right? So how do we do so? So this is the main function. You can clearly see array A consists of this heap elements, array B consists of these elements, and we have basically called the function merge heap, and there we have passed the array A, array B, the size of array A and the size of array B, right? So n is the size of array A, m is the size of array B. Now when this function will be called, this merge heap function will basically create a max heap using the elements of both these arrays, and then will return that max heap. So you can see that this particular variable is of type vector int, which indicates that the function merge heap will also be returning a vector of integers. That is why I have created here vector int, right? So and finally we will print out the resultant output. So let us now jump into the coding part. So what happens is, you can see we are in the function merge heap. So here basically we have received the elements of the array A and the elements of array B. This is the size of their arrays respectively. What we are going to do, the very first thing that we are going to do is we are going to combine them into a single array. So for that I am just going to create a vector. I will be saying vector of integer, and it will be array, okay? Now what I am going to do is integer of I. Now I am going to traverse the very first array, I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, right? So once I do so, what should I do? Sorry for that. So I should just say array dot pushback. So I'm going to say array dot pushback array A of I. So I hope this was helpful. So what we are doing, I'm just traversing the very first array A, and each elements of the array A are going to be pushed into the result into this particular vector array ARR. Done. Same code I'll be copying from here, and I'll be doing the same for the second array also. So less than, this time I'll do m, and this time it will be basically B of I. So this time I'm going to push the elements of the array B into this vector array ARR. So once this entire process is completed, what happens is we are ready with a vector array. So we now have a vector array, and what is the vector array? Basically combination of the 2 arrays. So basically I have 10 in my with me, 5 with me, 6 with me, 2 with me, and here I have 12, 7 and 9. So I hope you are getting the point. So this is how actually things are working. So this is my basically, sorry for this, yeah. So this is my, array ARR. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to apply the max heap property, okay, or I'm going to perform the heapify operation here. But if you remember, what we do is generally we first of all, before heapifying, what do? We locate the last non-leaf node. So if the number of elements in the array are n, we have already discussed this in the build heap video, where we have discussed the problem to create a heap. So if the number of elements in the array is n, then you will find that n by 2 minus 1, this particular index n by 2 minus 1 is nothing but the index of last non-leaf node. Okay, so what will be the index of last non-leaf node? The index of last non-leaf node will be nothing but n by 2 minus 1. So basically if I just look into the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, right? Let me just rub this particular array. Okay, so assuming that the resultant vector array ARR is nothing but the level of the traversal of a binary tree, okay, a complete binary tree right now. So it is like 10, 5, 6, 2, 12, 7, 9. Great. And you can see the index positions I have already remarked: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What will be the first non-leaf node, the last non-leaf node? So definitely you can see the last non-leaf node is nothing but this node 6. And how can we trace it from here? You can see the number of elements in the array is nothing but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, right? 7 by 2 minus 1, right? So 7 by 2 will give you what? 7 by 2 will basically give you 3, right? 7 by 2 will give you 3, and minus 1 will give you what? 2. You can see 7 by 2 minus 1. So integer division, it will basically round off to 3, and 3 minus 1 will be giving you 2. So index 2 is nothing but 6. What the point? So right now my pointer will be at 6, and now from 6 onwards I will move upwards towards the root. So 6, 5, 10, 6, 5 and 10, right? So that is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to say for I is equal to basically, so let me declare a variable integer n, and it will be nothing but size of m plus n, isn't it? I hope you will agree, because the size of this array ARR will be nothing but the sum of the size of the array m and array n. That is why I wrote this. Now this will be nothing but I equal to n by 2 minus 1. I will be greater than equal to 0, I minus minus. So I hope you are agreeing with me, because right now my I will be at this point greater than equal to 0, because from here till this point I will be coming, and at each iteration you are going to call the function max heapify. So I'll say heapify what? Pass the array ARR, and also at the same time you're going to say number of elements in the array, which is nothing but n, capital N, and the index position I. So basically you can see that right now whenever I am pointing to this particular node, means here, I should call the heapify function. Why should I call the heapify function? Because basically I am interested in heapifying this subtree right now, this subtree, right? So what should I do? I should right now write the code for the heapify function. So what will I do is basically here I am going to write a function of type void. It will be nothing but heapify. What is it going to receive? It is going to receive an array ARR, that is why ARR, comma, integer. It is going to receive the number of elements of the array, capital N, and suppose integer I, the index. So right now what should I do? I should say max index is equal to I. So I'll assume that the root is maximum so far. So I'll just assume that the node at point, the index that you are passing, that particular index has the maximum value in this particular subtree. Okay, so obviously I passed 6, so basically I'll assume that I passed 2, right? This is the index 2, so I'll assume that this particular index element at this particular index has a higher value. Initially my max index will point to I, it means index 2, okay, means this element. Now what am I going to do is I am going to say that if, okay, now you know that again there is a property from heap which says that if you are at an index I, okay, if you are at index I and suppose the address of this node is index I, okay, then its left child will be at index 2i plus 1 and the right child will be at index 2i plus 2. So that is why I am now given that I have received the index I, or this is the address, this is the index of a root node of a subtree. What will be the left child? The corresponding left child, for that I am going to say integer L comma R. L is going to means left child is going to be 2 into I plus 1 and R is going to be 2 into I plus 2. I hope you got the point. So now my L is pointing to the left child, R is pointing to the right child index, okay, not the value of left child and right child. Instead it is pointing to the index of the left child. So you can see what is the index of the left child, given my parent index is 2, right? So if the parent index is 2, then the index of left child will be 2 into 2 plus 1, which is 5. Index of the right child will be 2 into 2 plus 2, 6. 5 and 6, what are the element at index 5 and index 6? So 5 and 6, 7 and 9. So definitely you can see 7 is the left child and 9 is the right child. Exactly, right? This is how it is working. So okay, I am pointing to the left child and the right child. Now what should I do? I should check that if L is less than n, means if L is within the range, okay, we should not exceed the last element of the tree, right? An array of L if I find to be greater than the array of I, what does it indicate? It indicates that the left child is greater than the right child. If this happens, then you should say that max index should point to the left child, right? Because this is where I am getting the maximum value. Same case for the right child also. You will be writing here. What should I say? I should say if my right child is less than n, the index of the right child is less than n, means within the limit, and array of R basically, array of R is greater than array of I. What does it indicate? It indicates that if you find the right child to be greater than what? Array of I, or we can say, sorry, not this, array of max index. This is much more appropriate. What the point? So if array of left is greater than array of max index, then we say max index will be equal to L, and if array of R is greater than array of max index, right? So we say that, okay, let me just write this properly. Yeah, array of max index, then we say okay, maximum index should be pointing to R, right? Because this is where I am finding the maximum value. So whatever you do at this point, after these two loops are executed, after these two loops are statements executed, what happens is basically the maximum index will hold the index of the child with maximum value, okay? Whichever of the left child and the right child has the maximum value, that particular child's address will be basically stored here in this max index. Finally what we are going to do is we are going to say that if max index, now what should we expect? We expect the max index to point to the root node, because the root node should be maximum. None of the left and right child should be having a value greater than the root node. This is what we expect. But in case if we find that the max index is not equal to the value of I, because the root node that we passed, the root index that we passed, which indicates that obviously I have detected that one of the child has a higher value. So in this case also the same thing happens. First of all, your max index will point to the left child, because obviously the left child value is greater than 6. But then when you come to the right child, you will find that okay, max, this element is no more maximum, this is the maximum. So finally you will find out you have successfully located the maximum of the child. So you are at this node. So basically this is the maximum value. Now what I am going to do, I am going to, now if I see that the maximum pointer initially was pointing to the root node, but now it is pointing to this node. What does it indicate? That okay, your child has a value higher than you, which means there is a fault in this. Now if I want to convert it into a max heap, what should I do? The root node should be swapped with this particular index where the maximum point is present, value is present. So if max index not equal to I, means if root is no longer the maximum, then I should perform a swap operation between array of I and array of max index. I hope you're getting the point. So here also the same thing will be happening. What will happen is basically this 9 will go up and 6 will come down. So what happens? 9 goes up, 6 comes down. Great. This is done. And what should we do? Now we should basically call the heapify function. So once you have performed the swapping, you should also call the heapify function, because heapify on what? You have to pass the array, the number of elements, and the index, max index. Because you can see that you have basically detected the maximum value at this point, and you have tried to adjust it by replacing this value with its root. Now basically it might happen that you have disturbed its subtree. So again try to heapify its subtree. But since here you have only one node, so no problem, it will be fine. Nothing will be happening. So what next? So this particular heapify function, for whenever I called it for this node, has successfully completed its execution. So what will happen? It will just return the control, right? It will just return. Next time what will happen? Next time when my for loop will point as per this for loop, my I will now, initially was pointing to index 2, now it will point to index 1. So when it is pointing to index 1, which means now there will be a call on this subtree, right? Heapify called on this subtree. What will happen? Again the heapify function will be called. Again what will happen? Again I will assume the maximum index to be at root node. I will assume that this is my max index. Left child, right child. What did you see? You see that the left child value is less than this, so no problem, this will not be executed. This statement, the right child value is greater than the max index, because max index is pointing to this node. So this is greater, so what will we do? We will update the max index to R. So max index is no longer pointing here, max index will be pointing here, max index will be pointing to this index, and we'll perform and if max index is not equal to I, because this is the value of I, right? The address of this node, this address is 1, so I have passed 1. So and we know that max index is pointing to 12. So if max index is no longer pointing to the root node, which means you have detected a child whose value is greater than the value of the root node. So perform a swap operation. So what will happen? 12 will go up and 5 will come down, right? So 12 goes up and 5 goes down. So this way, now what will we do? Again we'll call a heapify function on this subtree, because basically you see max index was pointing to this at the end, and I may have disturbed this subtree, that is why I will be performing max heapify. But you can see there is only a single node, no problem, it's fine. So this subtree is also heapified, that is this subtree, if you see, it is following the max heap property. This subtree is also following the max heap property. Now we, as per the loop, we will come at this point, index 0, right? I will return back, again I will point to 0 the last time. So finally my I is pointing to index 10. So when my I is pointing to index 10, what should I do? I should first of all point to the left child and the right child. You can see the left child is 12, the right child is 9. So max index finally will point to which node? This node, because this is a higher value. 9 is smaller than 12, right? So this child has higher value. So I will just update max index to this point, and I will see that, okay, after updating, you will swapping, you will see 10 comes here, 12 comes here. So now after you swapped 10 and 12, since I have disturbed this particular node, because the max index was pointing to here, so I might have disturbed this subtree, right? You can see this subtree. That is why I will perform the heapify operation again. But see, you will see that there is no problem, because this is 10, right? This is 10 and this is 2, this is 5. So still the heap property is satisfied, so no problem with it. So finally you can see our heap is reduced to 12, 10. What is this? This was 7, no, not 7, 9, right? 12, this is 9, and this was 7, 6, and this was basically 2 and 5. So you will find out that the heap property is satisfied, because every root node is greater than its children. Okay, at every level, this is greater than this 2, this is greater than this 2, this is greater than this 2. So finally we have successfully completed our max heap function, and you can see that this particular approach, what did we do? On an average, if you just refer to the article for this approach, you know, this build heap takes order of n plus m. Why n plus m? Because total number of elements in this array was n plus m, right? So it depends upon the size of the array, right, on an average. So time complexity of this approach is linear in nature, order of n plus m, right? And obviously we are going to take a constant space here. Okay, if you just exclude this vector that we have considered, apart from this we didn't take any extra space, right? So a constant space. So now let us compile and execute and compile this code and see if it is working fine. So I hope I'm not making any silly mistake. Alright, so here is a slight mistake, let me just rectify it. So I am calling the function array and max index, right? So integer array, integer and integer max index, that is fine. So what is the issue? Let me just check it. Line number 17. So here. Alright. Alright, a very little mistake. Let me just rub this particular portion. Yeah. So line number 33, you can see we are passing ARR, and ARR we have declared here as a vector array, but in the function heapify we are receiving it as an integer array, right? Normal array, not a vector array. So this definition should be basically vector int and array, right? This is fine. Sorry. Yeah, now it should work. Alright, so it is getting executed. What's the issue? And was okay. This is actually capital N, right? That is what we are passing. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry for this. What are we returning? Returning cout less than output dot size, output I, that's fine. Vector int output is being received, and basically yeah, the issue is uh, this function here, merge heap, should return, no, it should return the array ARR, right? That is what we missed here. So yeah, now it's fine. So it's very interesting to debug the code, right, while explaining, because it is challenging. And yes, see, we have basically solved the particular problem, and we should also have a good command on debugging, right? We should be aware of where the mistake might occur. That basically shows your understanding of the problem. So anyway, this is the output that we have received. The tree is like 12, 10, 9, 2, 5, 7, 6, and I hope this is what we have received, right? 12, 10, 9, 2, 5, 7, 6. So I have already explained you how did we get this. So yes, that's all from this particular video. I hope this video was helpful. In case of any doubt, please feel free to put it out in the comment section. Just like, share and subscribe. Thank you.